streaks of fire lit the Iranian night. Not a celebration, but a warning. Tehran claims it has tested its most advanced intercontinental missile just months after war with Israel and days before new sanctions hit. This is a message to Washington, to Tel Aviv, and to the world: Iran is not backing down. Trails of smoke arced across the Iranian sky, leaving residents in Tehran and nearby cities both stunned and unsettled. From the northeastern provinces of Gorgan, Sari, and Semnan, eyewitnesses watched luminous objects streak upwards, some capturing shaky videos that quickly spread online. To many, the spectacle looked less like a scientific launch and more like a statement of power. Mohsen Zanganeh, a parliamentarian aligned with Iran's conservative bloc, confirmed that the displays were not ordinary. Speaking to the state broadcaster IRIB, he declared,
2 nights ago, we tested one of the country's most advanced missiles, which had not been tested so far, and it was successful. I want to say that even under these circumstances, we are conducting a security test of an intercontinental missile.
The statement, both triumphant and defiant, instantly reverberated beyond Iran's borders. In an era of heightened suspicion, even the word intercontinental carries consequences. Videos circulated from the Revolutionary Guards-affiliated Telegram channel Sepa Pasdaran News, showing luminous arcs stretching against the ink-black night. Mehdi Barari, Semnan's deputy governor for political, security and social affairs, attempted to calm public nerves through IRIB.
The luminous objects observed in the sky over several provinces, including Semnan, this evening were related to missile system tests in another part of the country. There is no cause for public concern.
Even with reassurances, the launches were anything but routine. Missile tests in Iran remain rare, and their timing, just months after the 12-day war with Israel, ensured the message behind them could not be easily dismissed. For the Iranian government, the display was meant to communicate resilience. Not only had Tehran survived a surprise Israeli strike campaign in June, it was pressing ahead with advanced weapons development. Iran's ambitions in long-range missile development have long overlapped with its civilian space program. In June, just weeks before the clashes with Israel, Tehran conducted a suborbital test using a satellite launch vehicle. A maneuver, analysts warned, was not just about space exploration. A 2019 report from the US Defense Intelligence Agency concluded that advances in space launch technology can be used as a testbed for developing an ICBM. Shahin Modarrez, an international relations scholar and security analyst, emphasized the fine line Iran is walking.
Now the knowledge is there, but until this moment, there has been no test and no sign of a built intercontinental weapon. If such a missile had been developed, Israel would already be within range, but the danger would also extend to Europe, while questions remain over whether they have the guidance systems or technology to reach the United States.
Western concerns are hardly limited to missiles. For decades, Tehran's nuclear program has stood at the center of international negotiations, sanctions, and confrontations. With every rocket launch, whether for satellites or defense purposes, suspicions surface about Iran's ultimate intentions. The timing of Iran's missile demonstrations could not be more sensitive. On September 19th, the United Nations Security Council voted against permanently lifting sanctions on Tehran, triggering the so-called snapback mechanism demanded by Britain, France, and Germany. The sanctions are set for reimposition on September 28th, after accusations that Tehran has violated its commitments under the 2015 nuclear deal. Iran's leadership responded with fury. In a session chaired by President Masoud Pezeshkian on September 20th, the Supreme National Security Council announced the suspension of cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency, accusing the European powers of duplicity. An official statement underscored Tehran's anger.
Despite the Iranian Foreign Ministry's cooperation with the agency, and the proposals presented to settle the nuclear issue, the actions of European countries have effectively suspended the path of cooperation with the agency.
The message was reinforced by Pezeshkian himself during a televised address that same evening.
Last night, they sat down and returned to this so-called snapback. They are blocking the way. It is the minds and ideas that create ways. Our minds and ideas either will find a way or create ways. This is what should be believed. They cannot stop us. They can hit our Natanz, they can hit our Fordo, unaware that it is the people who are building and will build Natanz and things more important than Natanz.
Tehran has doubled down on its narrative of resistance, portraying sanctions as illegitimate and Western pressure as aggression aimed at undermining sovereignty. Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Bakai echoed this in sharp tones.
The United States is in no position to make decisions about Iran's national defense capabilities. The Islamic Republic of Iran is determined to preserve its independence at any cost, stand on its own feet, and firmly resist the excessive demands, aggression, and acts of hostility by foreign powers, including the United States and the Zionist regime.
Critics recall that Israel claimed to have degraded Iran's missile and nuclear arsenal during June's 12-day war, a campaign conducted with direct US coordination. But Tehran insists it emerged resilient, that much of its missile capability survived intact, and that deterrence has been strengthened, not weakened, by the confrontation. For Iran, firing missiles into the sky above its own capital is not only about weapons testing, it is about messaging. At a moment when sanctions are snapping back and foreign armies loom at its borders, the leadership seeks to assure its population and intimidate its enemies alike. Western capitals, meanwhile, see something else. An Iran moving one step closer to the capability they fear most. A homeland shielded by nuclear deterrence and armed with missiles able to strike far beyond the Persian Gulf. The test over Tehran, seen by thousands of ordinary Iranians on a September night, was far more than a military maneuver. It was a declaration of defiance, a statement of intent, and perhaps most dangerously, a signal that the region stands on the verge of a new and more volatile escalation.